Hola, buen día.
¿Alguien va a conducir la sesión? ¿Alguien va a conducir la sesión?
Este para acá. Ajá. ¿Sí? Sí.
¿También bien? ¿Más?
Yo creo que ¿verdad?
¿Mande? Es que topa aquí. Esa no se puede usar. ¿Ves? Es que no puedo.
Ahí está bien.
And there you go. Great. Sí.
Good morning, everyone, and welcome. It is truly an honor to have you here today for this important initiative, which aims to empower our future and current English teachers and to strengthen language education throughout our state. We are especially pleased to be joined by such a distinguished group of authorities and education leaders. Please allow me to introduce them to you. Mrs. Paola Rodriguez Lopez, wife of the Governor of Coahuila and Honorary President of the Inspira Coahuila office. Maestro Emmanuel Garza Fishburne, Secretary of Education of the State of Coahuila.
Good morning, everybody.
Also welcome the wonderful team at the Ministry of Education, the Undersecretary for Basic Education, level directors, and other educational leaders. And of course, a warm welcome to you, our English teachers. We thank each of you for your commitment to quality education and for joining us today. To officially open this event, we invite the Secretary of Education for the State of Coahuila, Professor Emmanuel Garza Fishburne, to deliver a message of welcome. Welcome, Mr. Secretary.
Thank you, Marisol. Good morning, everybody. What a great pleasure to be connecting this morning. Thank you all for all the efforts of being here today this morning. I want to especially appreciate the presence of Señora Paola Rodriguez, Honorary President of Inspira, Ceci de la Garza, and all the team from the Inspira office. Also appreciate the presence of all our team of the Undersecretary of Basic Education here in the state, and of course all the team of the English program that we'll be introducing this morning. I hope you are all enjoying these last days of our academic cycle and also getting ready for a much deserved summer break. So good times are coming, my friends. It's a true pleasure to be with you today as we take an important step forward in strengthening the teaching and learning of English in basic education here in Coahuila. We firmly believe that English is not just a subject, it's a powerful tool that opens doors to knowledge, opportunities, and a future where our children can thrive in a globalized world. That is why, as a state, we are committed to preparing our students for the challenges and the opportunities of a globalized world. Over the past few months, as you have seen, we have listened to you very attentively. Through a series of focus groups with English teachers like all of you, we've gained very valuable insights into the current reality in our schools, the aspects that are working, the ones that need to be improved, and what we can do better. Your voices, your experiences, and your ideas have been essential in building this strategy. This new strategy, called Level Up Coahuila, reflects our shared vision to strengthen English language teaching through meaningful training, updated resources, and more support for all our teachers in the classroom. Because we know that to transform education, we must first support those who lead the way. You, all of you, are teachers. I want to thank each and everybody for your commitment, for your passion, for the love, for all the effort that you're moving forward in terms of this initiative. I also want to share with you that part of the strengthening of Level Up Coahuila has given us the opportunity, through the support of our Governor Manolo Jimenez Salinas, to have a centralized team. And I'm going to share with you who is being part of this effort. First of all, I want to present to you Marisol Fernandez, who is our General Director, and she's newly engaged here in the Ministry of Education. We also have Luis Ángel Cerecero, who's going to be the state-level administrative director of all this strategy. We have Leila Garcia Leon, who's the state-level academic director, who's also here with us this morning. In English and primary education, we will have Alma Guadalupe Rojas as our director. In English and secondary education, we will have Mérida Evangelina Cortés as our director. She's here with us this morning. In English and high school education, we will have Abigail Espinosa Montalvo as our director. Aaron Lara will be our director for English and higher education. We will also have the support of Gloria Sierra as our regional follow-up director for all the academic levels, and also the support of Ana Karen Sertuche as our English in rural schools coordinator. So of course, as you can see, we have strengthened our state-level team, and of course this is going to be in service of all of you, our dear teachers of this strategy. So once more, thank you very much for being here with us this morning. I hope you enjoy having a deep look into our strategy, and I'm very, very fortunate to continue walking and constructing this strategy with all of you. Thank you very much.
Thank you, Mr. Secretary. Next, we invite Mrs. Paola Rodriguez Lopez, wife of the Governor of Coahuila and Honorary President of Inspira Coahuila, to address the audience with a special message. Welcome, Mrs. Paola.
Thank you. Well, good morning, everyone. I'm really happy to see all of you today in this virtual space. Thank you for being here and for taking the time to invest in yourselves and in your students. It is both an honor and a privilege to speak before such a dedicated group of teachers and English program coordinators. Your commitment to shaping your students' future and teaching not just the language, but opening a window to the world is truly remarkable. Through Inspira, we work is consistent and progressive, from elementary school all the way through high school and even universities. I also want to sincerely recognize the amazing work done by the team that, after holding countless meetings and listening sessions with teachers from all across Coahuila, they carefully designed this strategy called Level Up that we will be learning about today. This is not a plan created in an office. It's a plan built with you, from your voices, your experiences, and your classrooms. And that is why I'm here today, to invite you to be a part of this great collective effort. We want you to join us, to walk alongside us, and to bring this vision to life, because we know that only together we can truly transform English learning in Coahuila. We are also partnering with experts and organizations to accompany us on this journey. The U.S. Embassy, Teach for All, Universidad Autónoma de Coahuila, and many other organizations that are already working with us through courses, training, coaching, resources, and special projects. As English teachers, you stand at the crossroads of cultures. You are more than instructors of grammar and vocabulary. You're the guides who give your students the tools to access new worlds, experiences, and perspectives. Your role is invaluable. So thank you. Thank you for your dedication, for your tireless work, for your passion. I know that teaching is not always easy. There are days with big classes, limited resources, and diverse needs that can overwhelm you. And in those moments, you may wonder if your effort is truly making a difference. But please remember this, your impact is profound, even when you cannot immediately see it. So I leave you with this invitation. Keep going, keep inspiring, and keep believing. Join us in this mission. Together, we are not just teaching English, we are shaping leaders, innovators, and global citizens. Let's continue building a brighter Coahuila, one lesson at a time. Count on me, on Manolo, and the entire Inspira team to be right by your side. Together, we are not just teaching English, we are opening worlds. Thank you for being part of this beautiful mission.
Thank you very much, Mrs. Rodriguez, for your message. At this time, we invite everyone to open their cameras to join us for a group photo and to commemorate this special occasion. We would like to take a moment now to thank the attending authorities for their presence and continued support. Teachers, please remain for the rest of our presentation.
Thank you very much, guys.
Well, thank you, everybody. First of all, I'd like to tell you I'm very happy to be here with you. My name is Marisol Fernandez, and I'll be very pleased to start presenting you this beautiful strategy called Level Up. Next, please. Well, first of all, I'd like to tell you about the general objective, which is to develop a comprehensive strategy to strengthen the process of teaching and learning English as a foreign language, so that children and young people acquire the essential skills that will expand their prospects for meaningful employment in the future. Next, please. In order to achieve this objective, we are focusing on three main lines of action. First of all, to strengthen the program and the teaching practice in the classrooms. Also, to strengthen the level of English of our teachers and moving towards a linguistic excellence. And finally, to transform education by adding new strategies for better learning. We have the following targets leading up to 2029. First of all, as I said, to foster the development of English proficiency across the teaching workforce, to ensure the enhancement of language teaching methodologies for 100% of our teachers, and then to promote the achievement of the A1 level upon completion of elementary school, the attainment of A2 level in students during the period of middle school, to promote the attainment of B1 level in students during high school years, and finally, to be able to consolidate the attainment of level B2 in higher education students. This is something we will achieve gradually. Next, please. We have some technical issues, so please bear with us. In a moment, Luis Angel will tell us how we build this strategy level up with your help.
Yes. Thank you, Marisol. Good morning, everyone. So, on screen we can see the title of focus groups. If you can remember, this strategy was built with the collaboration of some of our teachers in all of State of Coahuila, from Piedras Negras, Monclova, San Juan de Sabinas, Torreón, and Saltillo. This strategy was designed to really boost the English teacher level and boost the program, the English program. There were more than 300 teachers of the 5 regions of our states. What we do with this strategy? Well, we strengthen our weakness, we focus our integration of contents, we analyze the resources of our teaching classes. The idea is to improve the English skills of the teachers themselves and making sure that educators are professionals. We need to get more objectives. We need to get those 6 objectives that Marisol just mentioned, and our mission is to impact all the main goals to our students in Coahuila. For elementary and middle schools, or specifically, we have the idea of unified English program. So the idea is that in Piedras Negras and Parras, the teachers are working with the same material and the same topics. This is the idea for the working with focus groups, and the name of the strategy is Level Up Coahuila. That's the introduction today. Next, please. One.
Yeah, we would like to remark that it is very important that we are building this with you. So Level Up is like rising, but this is because we had the opportunity to listen to you, and we will be doing that often. So thank you very much again.
How are we impacting this strategy? Well, in elementary schools, in middle schools, in high schools, and in higher education. In elementary schools, actually we have now 613 schools with Promi, with English services, participating with 702 teachers, with 158,000 students. And also in elementary schools with no English services, we have 914 schools. So there's a big gap to attend, and equals 134,000 students. In middle schools, we have 334 schools with 580 teachers attending 127,000 students. In high schools, we are talking about CETITEX, COVAX, 9 COVAX, and 9 CONALEPs, MSATs, with the impact of 55,000 students, with 143 teachers. And in higher educations, Universidades Tecnológicas, Politécnicas, BIS, technical institutions, and normal schools with 25,893 students would be the impact. Next, please.
So why are we sharing with you today this whole information? It is important to us that you know what are we doing in all the levels. As Mr. Manuel said before, so we are going to be working with elementary, middle, high school, and higher education. So it is very important that we are linked to all the strategies. So as Marisol mentioned before, in our objectives or lines of action, we have like reinforcement strategies, of course with the program and in our classrooms. For example, with elementary schools, we are trying to have a program that we can unify, so that way everyone is going to be studying the same, with the same progress, same level, etc. Obviously, we need to focus our classes also with the competences and skills from the language. Of course, we are having like a strong information from NEM and Brony, as you know. So we create, with your help in those focus groups and also with several meetings together, so we create different documents with your recommendations, so that way you are going to be able to work easier, because we know that sometimes you are not working only in one school or two, or with 2 or 3 groups. You have more than that. So we're going to be working with curriculum map and instructional guide that we're going to show you in a moment. Also, you are going to have the grade profile for your students. We are going to build standardized evaluations. And of course, one thing that you are already working on is the evaluation report that you have to upload. So, same as in elementary school is in middle school. As you know, we are building these steps, okay? From elementary to higher. So, same as elementary school, here in middle school we have these same components, the unified program, the competencies and skills. Of course, in middle school we also work with NEM and Prony, and these formats are also functional for middle school. So I would like to invite Leila to explain us how it's going to work and how your ideas and your comments are reflected on this.
Thank you so much. If we could go please to the next slide. So once we were working on the focus group with all of you, we really tried to listen the way that you were working and the needs that you detected while working now with the approach of the federal program with the Nueva Escuela Mexicana. And we know that it has its advantages, but as well it can present several difficulties to follow our teaching English as a language, right? So when we were talking in these focus groups, you showed us that working with projects has a lot of positive things, but it was kind of complicated while choosing what projects to follow. As Lulu mentioned, sometimes if we're in different schools, you had to work with different projects at the same time. That could be also hard and takes a lot of your time while taking the lesson plan. So one document that we would like to share with you is called this curriculum map. Now the curriculum map, it's going to be divided in 3 big blocks. It's going to be a dosage that is going to show you the way that you're going to be working through the school year. It's going to be divided by different periods and following, as we know, our school calendar, our trimester, respecting the moments that we have diagnostic, the moments that we have evaluation as well. And it's really important for you to look at it as it's a complement. We will continue working with our federal programs, but we're gonna reinforce the language structure, focusing on teaching our 4 skills of the language in the correct order. That we know that linguistically we have steps to follow to increase our vocabulary, to increase the way that students keep on learning. So if you could, this is a screenshot of the curriculum map. If you could please help me clicking on the link of the Excel, so we can show you the complete program. well, meanwhile, they open our link that is on the bottom where it says example curriculum map. While they click on it, you can see some of the elements that this is going to contain. On the first part, if we can go one slide up, please. Yeah, it's okay, don't worry.
Thank you.
And on the bottom of that slide, it says,
The
let's
link?
see if it lets you. It's all right. I'll continue if not explaining from here. So in the first part that you see the green block, it's the NEM block. If it's hard to do it, I can continue from here. Thank you. You can see the project. Over here, it's an example of elementary as well, but we're doing the same with middle school. And it's important for you to know that we're going to have one of these documents per grade. So it's already adapted to the content of each and every single grade from elementary until middle school so far. So our English language learning can have a process and a follow-up. That sequence that we talk about that is really, really important. So all the elements that we know of our federal program are over here. We have our projects. We have the product that our students are going to develop during these projects. Then we have the content and the learning development process. Normally in our federal programs, although we are an English subject, we receive this information in Spanish. Let's remember that we really want to focus on English, and sometimes the moments that our students have to practice it is only during our classes. So we're trying to do everything now in English. So that's why we only translate and change the content and the learning development process, the same ones that we have from the Federation, in English. So over there, you're gonna see each and every content that you're gonna work through that project and the learning development process. We also added some colors. Each content has a particular color, and the learning development process, as you can see, are according to that content. As I mentioned before, this is something that is working in elementary and middle school. So the information that you will receive, it's going to be adapted to your level and to your specific teaching grade. On the second block, we have the Common European Framework, where we're pointing in a very clear way the skills that our students need to learn that we're going to be teaching while working during these projects. So it's important that we don't miss as well the focus on teaching English as a language. So we divided already by each and every skill, and each unit you're going to have different projects to work on with different skills that are following that sequence that we know that we need to teach in that order in order for our students to develop English in the best way. So this is the first document that we will share with you eventually, and it's called the curricular map. Now I'm gonna continue with a second document. We can go to the next slide, if you could please help me. That it's called instructional guide.
So I would like to add that here is just like for a visual example, but you will receive an Excel document where it's everything linked from left to right.
Exactly, yes. And this instructional guide, it comes from the curriculum map, but it goes a little bit more deep into it for you to have specific strategies, ideas of how to apply these skills learning process and as well as our projects. In the instructional guide, these are some of the elements that you're gonna find. First, again, it's something that is divided per grade. It's gonna show you the period, if it's the first, second, or third trimester we're working on, the unit that is focused on, so you're gonna receive this document per unit, the term, so how many sessions, for how long, the time that you have available to work and develop this specific unit and contents. We know that each of our classroom is very different, and what takes maybe a session in one group, it can take 2 or 3 in another. So we're gonna have a block of time to develop this content. And as Ms. Angel mentioned before, this is gonna help us that all of our staff and all of our students are gonna be following and receiving the same contents and approach to this learning process. Then we're gonna have the learning objectives specifically for that unit. According to our NEM blog, you're gonna have again the project, the product that you're gonna develop, the contents, the learning development process, and the articulating access that is also important for us to consider. In our Common European Framework, we're gonna have already marked what skills are you wanna work during that period of time. So is it listening? Maybe it's gonna be reading, writing, or language structure, speaking. And here it's really important to reinforce that as teachers, we must have a specific time for students to practice and have access to the 4 skills of language. It's important to receive the input skills, but as well, what we want is our students to keep on producing in speaking and writing as well. So it's gonna give us a whole picture of how our class can be having these little moments for students to actually practice these skills. And at the end, you're gonna find some strategies and activities that are suggestions that can give you an idea of how to apply these to your lesson plan. We know that our lesson plan, it's a live document. It's not something that is set in stone, that you plan it and then you file it on a drawer. It's keep on changing, right? Because maybe the skill that you were working on, maybe it needs more time to review according to your specific group. But this document, its main goal is to give you these strategies and ideas and different suggestions of how you can implement it in your lesson plan. And how can you take these both documents, the curriculum map and the instructional guide, and then from those build your own lesson plan. And you're gonna have these different elements as the different stages of the class, some skills, activities, resources, interactive patterns, and assessment that I'm gonna explain in the next slide with a little bit of visual support. So if we could please move on to the next slide. So again, this is an example of how you're going to receive it. We know that our federal program and working with projects, it divides in different stages. And here we concentrated in 5 main stages of our class. This is an example of the first one. It is going to be the kickstart of a lesson. It includes a warm-up, a lead-in, and it's important to note that it's not the stage of a single lesson, but of the complete unit that maybe you're going to be working through a month or 2. That period of time, it's going to be divided in these 5 stages. So for example, the first one, it has a specific achievement. What do we want our students to practice on to develop during this period of time? As you can see, these are the elements. It's already very visual and very easy for you to look at it and to apply what you need. And it's important for you to know that this is going to be already built for you to take it as an example, as suggestions. It's not a format that we're going to share for you to fill out. It's something that it's already going to be as an extra resource that from there you can apply it to your lesson plan. So for this specific block and first stage, from the 4 language of for our skills of language, it already has a small check mark of in which skills are we going to be maybe having a little bit more of focus during this period of time. Then we have the instructional strategy and activity suggestions, where we're going to show you with different links, different ideas, some various of material that you can apply to your lesson plan. And the important part is going to be as well the instructional strategy. Over there it's going to give you different visions of how can you apply the language, not only with our regular materials that we're used to as a worksheet or some reading material, but that according to each skill, you can have other ideas of how to apply and work with your students. And it's also color coded, so each skill has a different color, and so that way you can like relate it to it. We have another column of resources that it's already marked what resources we're providing you with as an idea. The classroom interactive patterns as well that you can work on during this time, and the assessments that you can have. So we're not only focused on our traditional quizzes and tests, but according to the development of the project, we also know that we can support these materials with checklists, with observation, with different rubrics. So this is just a quick example, but as Lulu mentioned before, we also have a complete document that gives you all the follow-up of these 5 stages. I know that maybe right now, while you're listening to me, it could be raising up some questions and understanding, but don't worry, we will share this material. We will have a space at the end for you to upload your questions, and that we can have another session to, from your questions, answer what you need and to put this in practice. Because sometimes it's okay, I already listened to it, here it is, but once we take it onto paper and say, okay, now that you shared this, let me work on my lesson plan, it could be like, a little bit confusing, like I didn't have this question before, now it's rising up. But for you to know that we will have a time to practice it, to keep on like with a workshop, for all of these questions to rise up, and for you to know that as a team of English, we will be here to answer these questions, to help you through the process, and that is not something that you're gonna work on by yourself. It's something that we really want to keep on building with you. It's really important for you to know that from our focus groups, there is a group of teachers that are continuing working with us as a team, as an extended team, with different ideas, with building this information, because you are the ones that are in front of the group, and you know what works, what doesn't right now at this moment of time. So this is something that we're gonna keep on building, that we will keep on sharing, and that we will keep on adapting according on what you need, on your feedback as well. So that was also something really important that I didn't want to forget to mention.
And I would like to add that this is precisely why it's called a strengthening strategy. Because we know you've been expressing that the projects themselves did not provide much specification about grammar, vocabulary, and competences. So this is a support document. These support documents, both of them, have the intention to provide extra support and more clarity, as Leila says, as to how we can continue a linguistic route, but at the same time developing communicative skills within the framework of NEM. So we hope it's going to be useful, and we'll have time to show you and get you familiarized with all the ways to apply it.
Thank you. We could continue with the next slide, please.
Well, there are also other strengthening strategies that have been applied already and will continue to be applied, which is the virtual educator program, which, as you know, is in agreement with the American Embassy and helps the teachers not only with linguistic development, but also with methodology, improvement in methodologic knowledge. Also with Level Up English, looking for linguistic excellence. We will continue to provide certification in teaching methodologies and language proficiency certifications as well.
Next. So, well, other of the strategies that we are implementing we are going to be implementing this new academic year. It will be for elementary schools that are rural schools. So from now they are not having the program, but we are having this pilot with 50 schools in the 5 regions of the state in more than 20 municipalities, and this is going to be great for more than 3,000 students. So they will have pre-recorded sessions with activities, and it's going to be very, very important, the monitoring and support for them. Obviously, they will have, or they need some special equipment to have these pre-recorded sessions, but we are working so hard on this strategy so we can benefit more students when they arrive to middle school with you. It is important for us, as we mentioned at the beginning, that you know like the full picture of the strategy. Of course, you are going to be focused on your program, on your formats, on middle school competences, but it is important to remark that we are working in all the levels and different strategies. So, before we finish, we want to thank you for being here during this session. But first, do not leave the session. Please scan this QR code because it's going to be your attendance register. And also, here we have a space for you to leave some comments, to ask questions. And as Leila mentioned before, we're going to be answering. And we will visit you in the 5 regions of the state, so that way we can work together. We can have like these workshops to start implementing this good news.
Well, thank you very much, Lulu. Well, as a reminder again, please don't leave before you scan your QR code and register. And
We can go. If we can go back so we can give our teachers a little bit of more time for them to scan it. Thanks.
And once again, thank you everybody for being here as part of this very important journey that we are starting together. It was a pleasure to be here with you.
Thank you very much for being here, teachers and supervisors, because we have supervisors from all the regions. And we would like to appreciate all the support that you have given us in English with different middle schools. And also Ms. Ada, ella es la directora general de Secundarias, who is here and who is always supporting all these good strategies in order to have our students be more accessible to other upper levels. So it is very important that we have to appreciate all the effort from supervisors, principals, and teachers in each school, because you're working for your students and you're working for the teenagers in our state. Thank you so much.
So, we will see you soon. You're very scanned. Please let us know your comments. Thank you, and have a great Friday and weekend.
Have a great vacation.
Bye.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you. Is YouTube already is still open? No, that YouTube was.
Oh.